11 Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League. And a good evening to all of you at home and around the world. This is the Simulation Football League, and tonight, the New Orleans Pharaohs host the Tallahassee Pride. Alongside Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine. And Charles, New Orleans these two teams might not have similar records, but if the Pharaohs are involved, you know there's going to be a ton of firepower.
Most definitely. We've got the story of the Tallahassee Pride 6-2 against the New Orleans Pharaohs 2-5. That's a little deceiving, like you said, Cam, but both teams have the fireworks, and I'm excited for both teams to get on the field here and see what they can do.
Yeah, the question tonight, I think, is going to be, obviously we know that New Orleans offense is high-powered. Tallahassee has an incredible defense, but what's going to happen on the other side of the ball? Can Tallahassee put some things together, and can New Orleans get a stop? As the Pride are going to win the toss, they'll defer to the second half. And Charles, what do you see as being a big difference maker tonight?
Well, I think from a New Orleans standpoint, I think they need to be efficient with the ball. They need to have a strong time of possession. They need to limit the mistakes and keep the ball out of the hands of Tallahassee, because when Tallahassee gets the ball, they can strike quickly, score quickly, and if that happens, I think New Orleans is going to be on the downside of the game.
For those wondering what in the heck is wrong with Cam, because he sounds nothing like he normally does, I am battling through a cold down here in the heat somehow in Texas from headquarters. But we're ready to rock and roll here from New Orleans. The ball's on the tee, the hands in the air, and kick it. We're underway from L.A. The southern L.A. as Aaron Arrington brings it out to the 31-yard line. New Orleans in gold tonight. Tallahassee wearing the all-white as these two teams don their different shades of purple and gold.
Yeah, I'm looking for Logan Jack here to have a big emphasis in this game. I think they're going to rely on him, or they need to rely on him in order to win.
Split backs in the backfield with Xander Gold. Two receivers, one to either side. As Gold will drop the throw and get sacked on the first play. A 6-yard loss, and the big fella Hunter Norwood in the backfield. And a fast start for the Pride offense, putting Gold in a hole.
Yeah, the one thing about the Tallahassee Pride, they've got three studs there up on the front line between Norwood, Hale, and Bain. They're going to have to put some pretty solid blocking up there to keep them from penetrating and making an impact on the game.
Gold changing the play, and Tallahassee's defense shuffling all around the field. Going to flip it out to Logan Jack. Jack makes a man miss, picks up 7 to the 32-yard line, makes it a third down and manageable. Jeff Eaton on the tackle for Tallahassee. Check that. Mitch Butler, forgive me.
No worries. I think, like I said at the start, I think that's what they're going to need to do. Logan Jack's going to have a big impact on this game in order for them to get the W.
3rd and 9 at the 32, 4 wide for Xander Gold, and Gold's going long, and it's caught at the Tallahassee 44-yard line. Deezer Powell with the first down, the electric Powell, but an even better throw from Xander Gold.
Oh, Deezer Powell is an absolute beast, and in my opinion, I think he's one of the top receivers in the game. I mean, one of the things that stands out as far as targets, when they throw to him, 91% of the time he catches it, which is above and beyond all of the receivers in the league.
First down at the Tallahassee 44. The handoff goes to Jack, and Logan Jack going to fight his way for 6 yards to the Pride 38-yard line. And considering they started in a hole, 2nd and 16 on this drive, 5 plays in, not too bad of a start for the Pharaohs here at home.
Yeah, not too bad. They've got a good mixture so far between the pass to Powell and the running with Jack, and so far it looks like the Tallahassee Pride defense is a little on their heels, trying to figure out what to expect.
Quick flip out to Jack and a missed block there. That play looked discombobulated from the start. Wrap up by Danny Atkins will drop New Orleans into another third down. Sixth play of the drive coming up.
Yeah, big play here for New Orleans. As we stated at the top of the game, they're going to need to keep the ball and try and dominate the time of possession here. So big third down here. Hopefully they can get the first down and keep the clock running.
5 wide empty for Gold, and Gold going to get sacked. That is the disadvantage of going empty like that, and against Tallahassee, that's a dangerous game. Hunter Norwood's second sack of the night, and the drive will stall out around midfield.
Yeah, that's Hunter Norwood's 8th sack of the season, and he's a beast up there on the line. And they're going to have to maybe put a halfback back there, maybe a tight end to keep him from going in there and wrecking the backfield and the quarterback being able to pass the ball.
There's no one man on this defensive front, Charles, to key in on. All three of them have had tremendous seasons. Tyquan Hale's had the most success. Nice punt there, down to the 4-yard line by Tank Bennett, and that's another benefit to having a special teams specialist, if you will, on your side, getting that ball down in the 5. But Hunter Norwood, Tyquan Hale, Kevin Bain, they've all been outstanding.
Yeah, definitely. They are outstanding. It's like pick your poison. Who are you going to put back there to stop them?
1st and 10 at the 4. For the Pride now, Christian Christensen on his first offensive possession. Deep back in his own end zone as Francis picks up 6 out to the 10-yard line. And good to see Francis getting involved. But Christian Christensen leading the league in passing yards coming into the game. That's their bread and butter.
Yeah, he's leading the league in passing yards. He's also up there as far as number of touchdowns in the league. But one of the things I think he needs to work on is cutting down the interceptions, and I think that's the one thing that the New Orleans Pharaohs is hopefully going to capitalize on.
Christensen quickly out to Gossett, and that has been a play that they've looked to early and often in games this year. Ken Gossett, 4th in the league in receiving yards at 912. Behind, surprisingly, Riley Porter, who we've seen over the last couple of weeks, Charles, who's burst onto the scenes late in the season.
Yeah, definitely. And also, not only is he 4th in the league in receiving yards, he's also 3rd in the league in as far as receptions. So he's something that New Orleans is definitely going to have to put a man or two on to keep from catching the ball.
Gossett picks up 19 yards on his second catch of the night. So Tallahassee, starting from their own 4-yard line, now has the ball out to the 35, certainly now out of the shadow of their own end zone.
Yeah, they're going to have to put pressure on Christensen. The New Orleans Pharaohs are, in order to get control here of the game. Otherwise, Christensen is going to eat up any team that gives them that amount of time in the pocket.
New Orleans has really struggled defensively this season after really having a nice year last year. That ball is intercepted at the 45-yard line by Kappa Jones. And just as I say that, New Orleans says not so fast. Christensen gets fast and loose with it down the middle of the field.
Yeah, second interception for Kappa Jones of the year. That's what they need to do. Christensen has been throwing a lot of interceptions, or too many interceptions as far as Tallahassee is concerned, and that was a big play for the New Orleans defense. And let's see if they can capitalize on the other side of the ball.
Jones stepping right in front of that, and New Orleans, which is used to being in shootouts, lost to London earlier this season 59-44. Probably would like something a little bit slower paced if their defense can figure out how to get some stops like Jones did on Tallahassee's first possession. 1st and 10 at the 39. And Gold's pass is caught inside the 30. Down at the 29, they mark him just short of the first down, but that's Yassine Clifton with his first catch. Yeah,
Yassine Clifton, anytime you have a tight end in the game like that and can catch the ball and they keep him in the game plan, it's great for any offense. He's 6'7", 265, a big target there, and I think he's going to need to have a major role here in order for them to win.
Gold's now 4 for 4 for 40 yards in the first quarter, and the handoff goes to Jack. And he's got a first down to the Tallahassee 27-yard line. And one of the things, Charles, I like about our schedule personally, or specifically, is that we've been able to get to see all the teams around the league all season long, visit a lot of different venues and stadiums, and New Orleans certainly has a passionate fan base down here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited, especially excited for this game. I think there's going to be some fireworks, and so hold on tight and let's see what happens.
Really bang there to Matt Wolf, as Wolf was well covered down the field, but you can't fault Xander Gold, or can you? Alex Bond was defending on that play. 10 consecutive games with an interception dating back to last season. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable, and I think it might have been a little unbelievable thrown into that coverage there. They had like 3 or 4 guys that were covering Matt Wolf, and that's pretty dangerous.
Second down for Gold. Flip out to Jack, and Jack cannot break through. Nice stop in the open field by, I believe, number 25, Michael Sprouse, the harder hitting of formerly the Sprouse brothers. His brother Matthew no longer with the team, but Sprouse, Michael, in his 4th season.
Yeah, he's a beast. As far as cornerbacks go, he's the #1 tackler for that position, and you could see his closing speed on that particular play.
Gold, deep ball is tipped and intercepted. That's Ira Sharp with the pick, and just like that, New Orleans gives it away.
Yeah, unfortunate. I think if you look at the numbers for Xander Gold, he's got 10 touchdowns, and now this is his 17th interception of the season. Definitely needs to keep that down. Not the place he wanted to put the ball on that play, but hopefully they can bounce back here and put some pressure on Tallahassee.
Bit of a disappointing pick there for New Orleans, as that pass is caught by Hunter Jones for the first down on the 22-yard line. What's crazy about this first quarter, Charles, is outside of the opening punt for New Orleans, we've seen back-to-back turnovers and no points, but no punts either since that opening drive.
Yeah, a little surprising that we haven't seen a little more power on the offense side, but give it some time. I think we will as the game progresses.
Trips left for Christensen, and Christensen will fire down the middle and wide open in the middle of the zone is number 81. That's Jack Wall, who signed Week 8 to this Tallahassee squad. Their Week 9 signing, J.R. Lawless, we haven't gotten a chance to mention yet tonight, but Wall makes the play for the first down.
Yeah, congratulations to Wall. Welcome to the league. He is definitely a big target. He's 6'7", 285, and it's hard for him to hide himself on the field. And they got to keep spreading the ball around, but it's great when they can get it in the balls of guys like Wall's hands.
Ken Gossett running free, and he is having a field day out there so far tonight. Christensen up to 63 yards with 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Still surprisingly scoreless between Tallahassee and New Orleans.
Yeah, they're giving him some cushion off the line, and that's pretty dangerous when you give a guy like Christensen that amount of cushion. He's going to eat you up, and it showed on that play.
3 catches for 37 yards for Gossett, and Francis will lean in the flat, take a dump off for 7, makes it look easy. Kappa Jones and company on the tackle, up to the New Orleans 44.
Yeah, he made it look easy, but there wasn't anyone out there on the from an offensive line standpoint to help him. So that was purely Francis in his will to get some yards on the play.
2 backs and 2 receivers for Christensen now on New Orleans side of the field for the first time tonight. Outside of that interception, that pass is caught by Grayson Willis in the slot. Also in this offense, as mentioned, Wall and Gossett, but Hunter Jones, the third receiver to watch out for tonight, he wears number 10.
Yeah, they're going to have to, on the New Orleans side, West and Lincoln are definitely going to have to put some pressure on Christensen. As I stated earlier, if you give a guy like Christensen that amount of time in the pocket, he's going to burn you.
First down at the 38. as Christensen will fire one-on-one coverage, and it's knocked away with one hand by Rolliman Hood. Stellar job by Hood. That easily could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, great coverage by Rolliman Hood. He's he really hanging in there, and he's going to have to, between Hood and Arrington, they're going to have to really lock down those receivers of excuse me, of New Orleans, of Tallahassee, in order to keep control of the game.
Handoff, Francis. Francis bottled up. Only a 2-yard pickup. It's been kind of surprising, Charles, as that tackle was made there by Bryce Lincoln, who was signed by New Orleans a couple of weeks ago. Been quite surprising, the lack of A.J. Francis in this offense, but they've really found a rhythm with their 3 receivers and 1 tight end. This offense has a lot of weapons. I'll get your thoughts on that in a minute. 3rd down and 8 off a low snap. Christensen's pass is caught for the first down on the 23-yard line, and again, that's Willis over the middle.
Yeah, used a little pump fake there to maybe draw the safety off, and he was able to get the receiver there open in the middle. Wasn't the easiest of passes, but he had plenty of time in the backfield, and as I stated before, they're going to have to get up in his face in order to disrupt this Tallahassee offense.
Trevor Swain actually was the man out there to make the play. Gossett picks up 8 yards on his way out of bounds. They love that little rub route over there with Willis and Gossett for Tallahassee, and the team is yet to find a scheme to stop it.
Yeah, they haven't been I like their play calling so far. They haven't been going for the big bang play. They've been eating up the medium throws and the short throws, and so far New Orleans hasn't had anything to answer with.
Already a minute 15 to go in the first quarter, and the first quarter's just passed us by here. Just the second possession for Tallahassee. That pass is caught for a 1st and goal at the 6. Christensen right now is on fire, now 10 of 12, and that's Hunter Jones with the catch.
Yeah, they're giving him a cushion off the line, and I'm thinking that maybe the defensive coordinator should make some adjustments there, maybe put some bump up on the line, some tight pressure, because they're giving him 5-6 yards, and when you put it in the hands of Jones and Willis and Gossett and even Wall, they're going to kill you on that on that type of play.
Nothing for Francis up the middle, and that play made nearly in the backfield by Jerry Smith. 2nd and goal at the 6, and New Orleans probably feel real good if they could hold Tallahassee to a field goal here in a scoreless, quick first quarter here in Louisiana. New Orleans, nearly 4 games behind Tallahassee in the standings, are putting up some kind of an effort. Hand off to Francis again on 2nd and goal. He's going to lose yards in the backfield to the 7. Tackle for loss made by Aaron Arrington, and that is going to bring us to the end of the first quarter of play. No score. Tallahassee, one more shot to get in the end zone before having to kick a field goal. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APN Music on 11 Sports. We'll be right back. Start of the second quarter here from New Orleans. Charles Doherty, Cameron Irvine with you. No score in a fast-moving first quarter. 3rd and goal from the 7. Christensen's pass is intercepted, and then trying to take the knee, did in fact take it in the end zone, as Tank Bennett. And Tallahassee, not only does New Orleans hold them to less than a touchdown, but they hold them to nothing.
Yeah, and I think the leader on the defense there stepped up for New Orleans, and Tank Bennett. I think he's probably one of the most efficient defenders there on the Pharaohs side, and he showed it on that play. He took control of the series and got the ball back to their offense, and it's exactly what New Orleans needed.
He's also third in the league in tackles with 86 total, coming in just behind Chad Guy and Blake Craze. That pass well out of bounds. And actually, I was going to say, I think Tallahassee should challenge the call. It looked like they were going to give him the ball in the end zone, but they changed the call and did put the ball at the goal line.
Yeah, I think it was a smart play to get that snap off quick and keep the ball in New Orleans' hands.
Split backs in the backfield. New Orleans needs to be careful. They're going to get a safety. Hand off to Jack, and it is a safety. The first points of the game go to the Tallahassee defense, 2-0. How often do you ever see that? And J.R. Lawless, the new signing this week, makes the play.
Wow, that's a huge welcome to the league for Lawless. A safety there. There was a bunch of people back there that could have made that play, but JR was there where he needed to be. JR Lawless got the safety, and big turnaround for Tallahassee.
So now New Orleans will have to punt, and momentum swinging the Pride's direction from the 23-yard line. Head full of steam, Hunter Jones. And we're going to take a quick break. 10:46 to go in the second quarter. It's 2-0. Pride have the ball back. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. .10:46 to go in the first half. Tallahassee has the ball 2-0. We haven't even gotten a chance to talk about what this is you might be watching if you're new to the SFL. Francis picks up 4. Before we do that, the chat reacting to the interception by Tank Bennett. But shout-outs to little man Michael Xander Gold, C. Pundy, Ochonta 11, Rayola Xander Gold, Kumbaya 24, TMG 82, and many others in the chat, mostly dominated by Tallahassee tonight.
Yeah, I think at this point of the game, both defenses of New Orleans and Tallahassee are controlling the game. Let's wait for one of the offenses to maybe step up a little bit.
That's not Francis. That's number 21, Julius Williams. Didn't see if there might be an injury report on Francis, but Williams, either way, is sparing him. Well, Charles, simulationfl.net's the place to go. You mind helping me out on how they can get there? It's a lot of text, man. I'm not feeling too good.
Well, yeah, they can visit the simulationfl.net to check in, increase their player value, and also introduce themselves to the league. There's a lot of options there, a lot of people there that are willing to help. Just get on the site and introduce yourself and take it from there. We're here to help you.
The competition committee actually just approved signings will continue through week 11, and of course we will have a major rookie draft. You can, hopefully we're in the planning stages right now that you can watch yourself get drafted on television. More details to come on that major event coming up this winter. Wacky looking play on third down, Charles. I don't know if you saw it, but Christensen, it almost looked like he was trying to throw that ball away, and then Willis came out of nowhere. I'm not even sure that they credit him with a reception on that play, but either way, the Pride's offense kind of lazily sputtering through this first half against the inferior Pharaohs, at least as record would tell you.
Yeah, both offenses are sputtering, and I'm waiting for one of them to click in gear here. So far, the defenses are dictating the game.
9.5 to go. This is Gold out to Jack, and Logan Jack picks up 8 at the 32-yard line. 45 yards for Gold, 102 for Christensen, and both quarterbacks have had an ugly beginning to this ball game, and I'm really surprised, Charles, we have not heard from Matt Wolf tonight. No targets.
Yeah, no targets at all. I mean, he's definitely one of the folks that you would expect to be there on the offensive scoreboard. But so far he's been held in check.
2nd and 2 at the 32. Gold gonna fly it out to Jack, and Logan Jack's got some space. Another great tackle by Michael Sprouse prevents him from getting anything more. I saw in the chat earlier that they were saying Michael Sprouse is the best one-on-one open field tackler at cornerback in the league, and honestly, I can't disagree.
Yeah, and that was a good play there. The offensive line really helped out there on that swing pass with some blocking downfield, and was able to get the first down.
Hunter Norwood, who spit in his cornflakes this morning. He's got 3 sacks as Gold wisely stepped up in the pocket, but right into the face of Hunter Norwood.
I'm still trying to go through that visual of somebody spitting in my cornflakes, but yeah, Hunter is a beast up there on the line, and like we said at the top of the game, between Norwood, Hale, and Bain, it's going to be a long night there for the offensive line of New Orleans.
Quick trigger out there to Jack, gets the yards back. 2 of the 3 sacks for Norwood tonight have come on first down, putting the Pharaohs in a hole, and it's 3rd down and 10. And Charles, I think after seeing London fall to Atlanta 40-38, watch Chicago take out Vancouver 34-24, I did not expect 2-0 in the first half as Gold's pass is nearly intercepted, and that drive's going to stall out. Second pass deflection for Alex Bond, but I'm stunned here at this score right now, Charles. I mean, hey, kudos to New Orleans. They've really shown up and come to play tonight, at least on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, definitely kudos. I think you could say that for both sides of the ball from a defensive standpoint. And Tallahassee gets the ball back here, and let's see what they can do. But some of the stars on the offense have been pretty quiet so far.
Fair catch called for at the 27-yard line, and we're going to take a short break. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. Christian Christensen, you're back in control when we come back. Tonight's Simulation Football League game on 11 Sports is presented by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House, and also brought to you in part by Fuel Beyond the Imagination. Visit the all-new Simulation FL or SFLinteractive.net, site today. By Matt Doyle Designs, the official branding partner of the SFL, and by MediaTek Institute. Turn your passion into your profession. Aerial shots of all of our SFL cities around the country, brought to you by AirViews. That's AIRVUZ.com. And also around the world, too. Mexico City, Vancouver, London, all a part of the SFL. 7:23 to go in the first half. Cameron Irvine, Charles Doherty with you. Flag is thrown, and I believe they're going to catch somebody downfield for New Orleans with PI. So down the field, and I mean way down the field, number 98 for New Orleans, that's Levant Irvine, who's had a kind of a quiet season. Charles, a big free agent acquisition for this team, and they just haven't figured out how to get him integrated.
Also making one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Christensen. They're making him look ordinary tonight, and that last play there without the penalty was definitely a very ordinary play. It was thrown into coverage and not what Tallahassee wanted, but on that play it looks like they got a first down.
Look at how many socks in the wind A.J. Francis made the New Orleans Pharaohs defenders look like. I mean, they're just flying all over the place. Hood missed him first, then there's 2 or 3 more that left the screen, and finally Francis goes down after a first down, his best play of the night.
Yeah, and he did it with very little blocking. It looked like the tight end came in there late in the play, but he pretty much did that all on his own.
3 in the backfield, or sorry, 3 receivers, 2 off the right side for Christensen. Pump fake on a slant. Oh, wow, what a beautiful play design there as Hunter Jones picks up the first down. The pump fake actually went to Jones earlier in the play, and then Christensen found him later on for more yardage.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good route run by Jones, but there was some pretty decent coverage there, and Christensen was able to get it on a laser between 2 defenders, and good enough for a first down.
First down and 10 at the 30, 6.5 to go. Tallahassee, I don't think we've ever had an SFL game be 2-0 for this long. Trying to get some more points on the board, flips it outside to Willis. That pass caught for a 9-yard pickup, and Christensen really spreading the ball around nicely. That is 4 catches for Gossett, 2 for Willis, and 1 for Wall, 3 for Jones.
Yeah, it seems like Christensen's starting to get maybe get a little groove going on here from an offensive standpoint, and potentially that does not look bode well for New Orleans.
2nd and 1 of the 22. Francis with a head full of steam picks it up to the 14-yard line. 3.7 yards a carry here early, almost halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah, decent hole there, good blocking up on the front. Francis had a quick burst, quick step there on the carry, and now they're in the red zone, and I think New Orleans is, from a defensive standpoint, on their heels.
5:35 to go in the first half. 2-0 Pride over the Pharaohs. Sunday night in prime time here on 11 Sports. That one almost intercepted by Tank Bennett. That would have been his second right at the goal line, intended for Willis.
Yeah, very dangerous there. Looks like I didn't get the number, but it looks like he had another receiver that was wide open in the corner, and he decided to throw that in the middle there, and that could have turned out pretty disastrous for Tallahassee.
Just his 5th incompletion on the night. Christensen 14 of 19 for 149 yards. Nathan Blake is our statistician tonight. We appreciate him feeding us all the relevant data all night long. 2nd down to the 14-yard line. Flip outside to Francis. Look at all the space before he's finally dragged out of bounds at the 8-yard line by Rolliman Hood. And one other Pharaoh, critical 3rd and 4 coming up here if the Pharaohs want another red zone stop.
Yeah, this is a huge 3rd down stand for New Orleans, and so far they've been they've been on the top side of it from an advantage standpoint. But Christensen's starting to get his groove, and let's see if he can get it in the end zone here on third down.
3rd down and 4 at the 8. 5:05 to go. Christensen going to throw quickly outside. That is their play. And Ken Gossett's got a 1st down of the 2. When in doubt, flip it out to Ken Gossett.
Yeah, he's very reliable. You know, when you throw it to Gossett, he's been targeted 107 times, which is the tops as far as the offense there, and he catches it 70% of the time. So he's got great hands, and he's very reliable. And definitely when you get closer to the goal line here, Gossett's going to be one of the guys that Christensen relies on.
Francis didn't get in the end zone. Can't believe that. Touchdown saving tackle there by Jerry Smith, who's made a couple of plays so far tonight. And boy, the Pharaohs are really making the Pride work for this.
Yeah, they are. And it looked like Francis, you know, maybe by a paperclip measurement, he didn't make it in the end zone. That was pretty close. But another big stand there for the New Orleans defense.
Will they give it back to him? Yes, they will. And Francis is going to get in. Touchdown, Tallahassee. They have finally broken through with the first offensive score of the ball game with just a little over 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, that was a good possession there for Tallahassee, and as we stated earlier, it looks like Tallahassee is starting to get their feet on the ground from an offensive standpoint, and that does not bode well for New Orleans.
It doesn't get much easier than that little 1-yard stroll for Francis. Good on Tallahassee for giving it back to him and getting him in after he was ever so close the play prior. And a bad snap, but the extra point is good. Tallahassee takes a 2-possession lead into the break. 9-0 New Orleans offense. Better get moving. We're back to Louisiana after these messages. You're watching the SFL on 11 Sports. .420 to go in the first half. Tallahassee 9, New Orleans nothing. Charles, at the break, we were looking over the updated statistics. Logan Jack, 6 yards on 3 carries as Arrington makes a man miss, gets it out at the 29-yard line. That is not a stat line we've come to know and love out of Logan Jack. They need more out of him.
Yeah, they're going to have to get him involved, and right now, I think it looks the bad news for New Orleans is Tallahassee's offense is starting to get their stride, and New Orleans hasn't shown it yet, but hopefully on this series they'll start to show a little spark.
First down from the 29. Here's that empty look again. Watch out for those 3 vicious defensive linemen up front. Gold in trouble, and what do you know? There's a sack for an 8-yard loss. And this time, it's Kevin Baines, Tyquan Hale, rather, smashing the can over his head.
Yeah, I believe that's his 10th sack of the season, and so far between Norwood, Hale, and Bain, they're really not starting, but they've shown their will as far as dominating that offensive line of New Orleans.
And that's the 3rd sack on a first down that has put, and we talked about Jack's numbers being so low as Matt Wolf gets his first catch of the night, but that's maybe a reason why we haven't seen much of Logan Jack in the running game, because on first downs, New Orleans is going backwards.
Well, yeah, I mean, when they're going to that empty backfield on first down, they haven't really shown the ability to block anyone on the line, so maybe they should reconsider, maybe put a two-back offense set in there.
Well, on 3rd down and 12, they tried to get him going, Charles, which is unbelievable to me, as that play was stopped by Succo Lamano, And that ended up being a succo drive for New Orleans. I'll have to put it away.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe that formation they should have let off and probably would have had a better result than the empty backfield play on first down.
A frustrating first half for the Pharaohs offense, but all things considered, Charles, if they can stop the Pride from scoring here, at least another touchdown, that is, it's still a two-possession game heading into the locker room, which, New Orleans, given the frustrations they've had this season, probably would take that against a 6-2 Pride squad.
Yeah, fortunately for New Orleans, it's only a 9-point deficit, and they really need to lock in on this series and keep Tallahassee from putting some points on the board before the half.
Christensen down the middle of the field, Gossett to the Pharaoh 49-yard line. And early in the game, Christensen was being a little bit more conservative in terms of his push down the field, but now he's really starting to open up the offense.
Yeah, and that was a solid pass by Christensen to Gossett there, and right where he needed to get it between the defenders, and he's starting to heat up. And as we stated before, as Tallahassee starts to heat up on offense, it does not bode well for New Orleans.
Irvine took him out at the end of that play. First down at the Pharaoh 49. Christensen, no pressure on him, dumps it off to Francis. Francis still on his feet, but will not pick up any yards, and that gets us to the 2-minute warning. Irvine ends up making that tackle, his third of the night. We're back to New Orleans in 30 seconds. You're watching the SFL, presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. Two minutes to go in the first half. 9-0. Tallahassee on top of New Orleans in a surprising low-scoring first half. Wide open is Hunter Jones to the 37. Charles, that just can't happen the rest of the night.
Yeah, that was an eye-opening play there on defense. I'm not sure why they were able to give them so much cushion as far as the receivers on the Tallahassee side.
That was a cover 20. I didn't mean to stop you, Charles.
No,
I was just saying that's a cover 20.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was. They probably need to go back to the playbook there, maybe call something different.
Man, coverage. Oh, the pass is caught by Gossett. They did a nice job on Francis in the slot, or I'm sorry, in the flat. But Gossett makes a pretty play down the field, and Tallahassee's in business.
Yeah, that's his seventh reception of the game. He's been targeted 8 times, and he's clearly the go-to guy on offense. And Christensen's starting to heat up.
Williams in for Francis as Francis went out the other side. Christensen's getting whatever he wants. 22 of 26 in the first half. Flips that one outside to Willis. 23 of 27, and now Tallahassee's running no huddle after a clock stoppage on 3rd down and 4, which is bizarre. Why give New Orleans an offensive chance before the break? Pass is caught. Willis down to the 2-yard line.
Yeah, they've got an advantage there from a personnel standpoint. New Orleans is on their heels here, trying to keep them from getting in the end zone.
Oh, that's nearly intercepted. Kappa Jones gets a hand on it. 2nd and goal from the 2 coming up, and a rare incomplete pass from Christensen. 24 of 29. For some quarterbacks, that's what they do in a game.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'd want to go back and maybe wipe off the 2 interceptions, but other than that, from the first quarter, he's been playing pretty decent for the second quarter, and hopefully he can get it in the end zone here.
Mismatch, bottom of the screen, 2 receivers and only 1 defender. That pass is almost intercepted as well. Dropping back in coverage was Cornelius Arthur, And you're seeing what I'm seeing, right, Charles? You got 2 receivers down there against 1 defender in a goal line defense.
Yeah, and the defense has been adapting quickly, reacting quickly. That's the word I'm trying to find. And on that play, looked like he had the receiver open there for maybe a half a second, but the defender closed in there pretty quickly and shut it down.
Same thing, 3rd and goal at the 2, and Francis is going to score. And that play just barely materialized in time as Christensen's pocket was breaking down. But Tallahassee's starting to pull away here.
Yeah, he was a half a step ahead of Rolandman Hood and was able to get it in the end zone there. Good play call there. Was able to keep New Orleans. I think they were expecting a pass in the middle, and excuse me, A.J. Francis was able to take it in on a swing pass.
Now, all that no huddle for Tallahassee has left 28 seconds left on the clock for the Pharaohs. Not only their offense to potentially get moving, as we know that they can score quickly, although they've really struggled in the first half, but also for Aaron Arrington, a dangerous kick returner.
Well, he is definitely a dangerous kick returner, but 28 seconds is not a lot of time, so I think Arrington's really going to have to give good field position for the offense.
Coming up on the end of the first half. Arrington got away. Arrington down to the 46-yard line. And I thought there for a moment he was going to be gone. Tallahassee probably fortunate that he didn't get away from that last tackler, because that was the last resort.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tremendous return. We said he needed to get good field position for the offense and check here, but the way he did it was incredible. He bounced through that scrum. I didn't think he was going to get through it, but once he got through it, like you said, Cam, I thought he was going to take it all the way, but still, it was great field position for his offense.
Even if it could, if they don't score a touchdown, could get them into field goal range here just before the half, as that pass is caught by Wolf, and they preserve timeouts. Powell, excuse me, with that reception, and they preserve timeouts, getting out of bounds about 10 yards outside of field goal range.
Yeah, picture perfect play there for New Orleans, and if you're going to throw it to somebody, it's going to be Deezer Powell. I mean, he is a beast. For a guy that's got that many receptions, he doesn't drop any. He's got a 91% target rate out of the entire league, and he's right up there, and I think one of the best receivers in the league.
Hand off Logan Jack, and Jack, I mean, he got 7 yards. Just shocked to see the carry. Best run of the night for Logan Jack. He almost broke that away.
The defense wasn't expecting that. That was a decent run, and thankfully they have some timeouts there. Was able to stop the clock, but 13 seconds is not a lot of time. They're going to need to get at least another 10. Well, I think they're going for it right here. I thought they were going to try and go a little deeper.
Wow, surprising here. 53-yarder. New Orleans forcing the issue a little bit. It's a new kicker, but it's short. Ovaltine Jenkins signed this week. That falls just shy of the crossbar, and they did not do their new kicker any favors here. But he almost put this in. Not a bad kick.
Yeah, no, he did, but they didn't put him in the best position there. I think so I was trying to say before he ran out on the field is they need at least another 5 or 10 yards to get into range, and they thought maybe he could make it from there, but didn't work out for them.
Pass is caught by Willis, and Tallahassee will burn a timeout. They're at the New Orleans 45, so this is just the Pride getting greedy here to see if they can get a Hail Mary just before the end of the half. Still, kind of a bummer for New Orleans. They get stellar field position and then just kind of waste the drive away with a long field goal attempt.
Yeah, it was. It didn't turn out well at all for New Orleans. And from a Tallahassee standpoint, I think if you're going to do a bomb in the end zone, I think they're in a good position, being on the right side of the 50-yard line.
Goal, Christensen going to be sacked to end the first half, and finally, New Orleans able to get some pressure on Christensen. That sack by Ray West, who's had a really quiet evening. But that brings us to the end of the first half, and Tallahassee has a 16-0 advantage. It started with a safety, and then as the half continued, it became apparent that the Pride defense was going to be better than New Orleans offense tonight. And you can see, given the large discrepancy in total offense, particularly in the passing game, Charles, New Orleans very fortunate to be down just 16 right now.
Yeah, I mean, from a passing standpoint and a time of possession standpoint, Tallahassee is dominating, and I think the majority of that happened in the second quarter. So, unfortunately for New Orleans, it looks like Tallahassee is starting to get their groove, and doesn't bode well for the second half for New Orleans.
Yeah, the Pharaohs getting a huge interception by Tank Bennett, but that's going to be a first half of missed opportunities. You saw the interception there by Sharp. That was with New Orleans in the red zone. Then you also had the Aaron Arrington return. He was one one broken tackle away from making that into a touchdown. And you're just talking about then the field goal at the end of the first half. You're just talking about missed opportunities to score on the board, and potentially this is a 3 or 4 point game if New Orleans can execute in all those situations.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in order to be playoff teams in the SFL, they take advantage of opportunities, and clearly Tallahassee was able to stay in there and right the ship as far as recovering from those 2 interceptions. And as far as the New Orleans side, they got 2 interceptions and weren't able to capitalize on it. So you're looking at a team that's headed to the playoffs, based on their ability to overcome turnovers, and from a New Orleans standpoint, not so much as from the ability to capitalize on those.
And Tallahassee gets the ball to start the second half, so some work to be done for New Orleans, no doubt about that. Hunter Jones will return the second half kickoff from the 7-yard line. Jones up at the 28, and here's your top 6. Tallahassee with the current tiebreaker over Mexico City and Alaska. Chicago won earlier today, so there's a 4-way tie right now for 6 and 2. And that's how razor thin the league is, Charles. Tallahassee can either win tonight, be 4th, or fall all the way to 7th potentially.
Yeah, this is a big game for them. I mean, in order to hang with the big dogs in the league, they're going to have to pull this game out.
Francis picks up 5. Meanwhile, the wild card race has gotten even tighter with Atlanta's win earlier this afternoon. London just percentage points ahead of Tulsa. New Orleans is a game back of Tulsa, so just off the graphic. If they want to contend for the wild card, this is probably a must-win second half for them.
Yeah, definitely it is. And from a Tallahassee standpoint, let's hope that they have Francis a little bit more involved in the offensive game than they did the first half.
Well, and Francis gets the toss out, but Aaron Arrington is there to make the play. Francis with 31 yards, 6 receptions, and a touchdown. Also 26 yards on 9 carries and a rushing score.
Yeah, he did get that touchdown, but hopefully we can see some more yards per carry for him. Right now, that 9 is not typical for AJ Francis.
Wow, and that 5-yard carry for Francis was a thing of beauty. He shifted in a very tight space, made a couple of Pharaohs miss, and sometimes it's just that easy to move the ball when you're 6 and 2.
Yeah, and he didn't have a great hole there on the line, but once he got through that, it was all AJ Francis, like you said. He was able to bob and weave to get there for the first down.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Christensen fires it outside, caught for a 5-yard pickup to the 44. That, laying on the ground, being a bit of a drama king, is Jack Wall. But he pops right back up and talks some smack.
Did a couple snow angels down there, but it's he's back up and ready to contribute on the next play.
7 receptions, 87 yards for Ken Gossett. Christensen, little sidearm throw out to Willis with a first down to the Pride 49-yard line. And again, Tallahassee is just sort of bleeding New Orleans dry. I don't think they've thrown a single pass over 20 yards, but they're just taking what the Pharaohs are giving them all night long.
Yeah, no, that's really all they need to do. When you're up 16-0, you don't need to go for the home run at this point because it hasn't been a whole heck of a lot of pressure from a defensive standpoint from New Orleans.
No gain on that play. McDaniel, the second, who's been real quiet, top 10 tackler in the league tonight, but he has been taken out of the Pharaohs' defense here tonight.
Yeah, I think right now he's tied for 7th in the league, and like you said, it's been very quiet, so he's going to need to maybe step it up a little bit here in the second half.
Francis picks up 3. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 7. Tallahassee, this is the critical part of the game for New Orleans defense because this is where Tallahassee has shined on 3rd down. They're 4 of 7.
Yeah, definitely going to have to make a stand here, and I would say that they need to get into Christensen's face a little bit and cause some havoc there on the front line.
Christensen on 3rd and 7. Wide open, Charles. My goodness. Longest pass of the night. That goes to Willis. And Christensen's just doing whatever he wants out there. First down to the Pharaoh 30.
Yeah, that's not
Look at everybody retreating.
Yeah, they were back expecting maybe something deeper, and Christensen was able to capitalize on that one. And it's not something I think they're going to want to do from a defensive play standpoint. They're going to have to maybe get closer up on the line there and get some pressure on that quarterback, or it's going to be a very long day for New Orleans.
Christensen to throw, nearly sacked, but again, New Orleans just has not been able to get there tonight, although Willis only picks up 3. Nice stop by McDaniel the second out there in the open field. Upcoming games, you won't want to miss Ashley Jackson's debut as analyst. She will be along with Eric Vincent for the Carolina Skyhawks as they try to pull the big upset over the Denver Nightwings tonight. Could be a trap game for Denver. Carolina playing much better. Doubleheader tomorrow night starts at 7 Eastern, 6 Central from Sin City as Francis going to pick up another first down. And this has been a blood-sucking 5-minute drive for the Pride to start the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, blood-sucking is a apropos term, and I think that I don't recall any stops on the line or any stops from a negative standpoint for New Orleans, and New Orleans going to have to do some type of adjustment to keep Tallahassee from continually moving down the field at ease.
They've had a nice red zone stop or two tonight, has New Orleans, but they're going to need something similar or bigger than that here as Willis makes another catch in the flat, a 6-yard pickup. Christensen now 32 of 38, 33 of 39 for 277 yards.
Yeah, then that's about 85%, which is it's pretty stellar for a quarterback. I mean, he's shaking off those 2 interceptions from the first quarter.
Here's some man coverage, 2nd and 4, but they're going to run it up to Francis, and a nice job by New Orleans. Thought we'd see more of that tonight. Tallahassee's certainly proven you really can't play zone against them. As Irvine makes the stop, here comes another 3rd down for the Pride.
Yeah, big tackle there by Irvine. I think between him and McDaniel, they've been the leading tacklers in the game for New Orleans, and they're going to need more of that to stop them here on 3rd down.
Francis going nowhere. And finally, after 6 minutes, New Orleans is going to get off the field. Tallahassee has had 56 offensive plays tonight, to just 27 for the Pharaohs. That is just remarkable.
Yeah, it is remarkable, and New Orleans, when they get the ball back, they're going to have to score, and obviously, and score quickly, I believe, because once you get the ball in Tallahassee's hands, they've shown that ability to eat up the clock.
This is a 30-yard field goal for Richard Douglas. This would put Tallahassee up 3 scores, and he missed it.
Wow.
Off the upright. Off the right upright. It is still a 2-possession ball game. And we'll return to New Orleans in a moment. The Pharaohs somehow still have life. We'll be back after this. Back here in New Orleans, Tallahassee just had a 6.5-minute drive to start the quarter with no points. How does that even happen? As Xander Gold in this Pharaohs offense has new life, stepping up in the pocket, Gold throws it out of bounds. He almost took another sack on first down, and I can't believe it, Charles. The coming away with nothing on that, just remarkable.
Yeah, that's it's kind of hard to keep your head up after that, but luckily for New Orleans, they weren't able to score. They're still in the game here, but from this point forward, they're going to need to be near perfect. And on that last play, the amount of pressure they got there on Xander Gold is definitely not what they need.
Gold to throw, 2nd and 10. Look at all the pressure around him, nearly threw an interception. Tallahassee is making Xander Gold's life hell tonight. 3rd and 10 coming up for New Orleans.
Well, in order to take that pressure off of Gold, they're going to somehow need to get Jack involved in there. I mean, he's been pretty limited, I believe, and he's going to need to play a little bit more of a role here in the second half.
Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers. 3rd down and 10 for Gold. He needs a miracle. Just 10 of 16 tonight, less than 100 yards. Avoids a sack, then takes one. Loss of 7. Kevin Bain in there on the stop. And despite the efforts by the Pharaohs defense to bend and not break, this offense has come to a complete halt. 3 and out, and this defense is going to be gassed when they get back on the field.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Bain, I think that's his 5th sack of the season, which is kind of surprising based on the last couple seasons for Bain. But between Norwood, Hale, and Bain, they've really been dominating that line. And so far, New Orleans hasn't had an answer for them.
Jones only up to midfield. Still a 2-score game. Can the Pharaoh defense keep it up? We'll find out in 30 seconds. You're watching the Simulation Football League on the 11 Sports Network, presented by APM Music. If you like what you see, follow the SFL on Twitter at SimulationFL and hashtag Make an Impact. Spread the word. Francis gets a block, and Francis will pick up 7 yards.
Yeah, nice play there on first down. Very good 2nd and 3. I mean, any quarterback in the league would love to have a second and 3. They've their whole playbook's open here, and New Orleans, as I stated at the beginning of the game, they're going to have to put some pressure on Christensen. So far, he's been touched very little.
Francis gets a first down to the 37, and you almost feel like Charles, with this stellar field position now that Tallahassee has, New Orleans is going to need a pick six or something from their defense that's not just a stop. Something to just light a fire under this team.
Yeah, definitely a sack, a pick six, a fumble, something to, like you said, to spark the New Orleans defense and the entire team.
Flip outside to Willis. They're going to say that he was inbounds. I'm not so sure. And at this point in the game, might be worth it for New Orleans to only 5 yards, but every yard counts. Second and 5 at the 32-yard line. 2.5 to go in the third quarter. Handoff goes to Francis, 3 yards shy. It'll be 3rd down and 2 coming up, 2:13 to go in the third.
Yeah, they're just, they're not having the big flashy plays on the Tallahassee side. And 3rd and 2, they've got a pretty conservative game plan from a Tallahassee standpoint, and they don't really need to do anything flash at this point because so far New Orleans doesn't have an answer.
And the Pride didn't get it. Francis only picks up a yard, 45 yards on 16 carries. So Tallahassee just missed what was that, a 35-yard field goal from earlier?
I think it was a little higher. I think it was a little higher up there because I was a little amazed that they didn't at least try one more play. I think it was up in the 40 range.
Well, this is a 44-yarder here for Douglas, who just missed. And this field goal is off the pole. He missed it again off the upright. I have never seen that before.
It looks like it hit it in the exact same place.
The first one was off the right upright. This one off the left. But in terms of the placement, I think you're right. Just doinked it right off the side. And it's still a 2-score game. That has to be a sign, doesn't it, Charles? My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now it's the silver platter analogy. I mean, they're giving it to New Orleans, and let's see if the offense can respond. I mean, so far the defense has done everything that they need to do on those last 2 possessions.
Over 1,000 games in SFL history. I don't think I've ever seen the same kicker in back-to-back field goals hit the uprights. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was close. It was almost the same area. I mean, I wish we could go back and do a review of that first kick, but I would imagine it was at least within a yard or 2.
Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Gold gonna throw into traffic, and I believe was looking for Matt Wolf down the field. Wolf still a very quiet night. Just 1 catch on 5 targets for 6 yards.
Yeah, very quiet, but good defense there by Tallahassee. I think that was maybe the linebacker. I can't see. Maybe that was Lawless that maybe stepped back there in coverage and was able to put a hand on that ball.
Now Gold going empty again, but this time with more protection. 45 seconds to go in the third. Still, it doesn't matter. Unbelievable. Kevin Bain and the rest of this Tallahassee front they're going to win the game. Charles Dunbar makes this sack.
Yeah, I mean, you got the likes of Norwood, Hale, and Bain crashing that line. It gives an opportunity for guys like Dunbar to go in there and get a sack. And like we stated before, they don't have an answer to that front line, and it's going to be a very long day for New Orleans. They don't figure out a way to stop that rush.
This is really something else. Tallahassee with 63 offensive plays. New Orleans with 35. And yet, it is a 2-possession game right now. Xander Gold, the entire New Orleans offense has 96 yards of total offense compared to 307. Am I reading that right? Maybe 337 yards of offense.
Right.
On the other side. Unbelievable. And it's 16-0. Christensen going to throw. Might be the final play of the quarter, and it's knocked away and almost intercepted by Aaron Arrington on the outside.
Yeah, that was a great play by Aaron Arrington. It was not an easy pass to deflect there, but you can see his athletic ability. He jumped in the air and was able to put a paw on that one and disrupt the play.
In the chat, Christian Christensen saying, still an insurmountable 8 safety lead. Huh. I guess you could look at it like that. Although the 16-point lead, no matter how you score it, does seem pretty insurmountable here tonight for New Orleans. Their offense in the mud. Francis receives it, but, Tallahassee hadn't been too much better here in the third either. They've put up a bunch of yards, but no points, and that is the end of the third quarter. Boy, New Orleans is doing their best to hang around, try to pull the upset. With Charles, I'm Cam. Put your fours up. The SFL returns to New Orleans in a moment. You're watching on the 11 Sports Network. Start of the fourth quarter, 16-0 Tallahassee, as Christensen will flip it into traffic for a catch to the Tallahassee 49. That's Ken Gossett. Who else would it be? He's been easily the best offensive player on the field tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the leaders there, but that's a tough pass to get off there with that little rock skipping across the lake there. He got it right in between like 3 or 4 defenders, and normally you don't see that pass made at all. I mean, normally it's an interception or a deflected pass.
Kappa Jones has to turn around in that situation. He was right there to make the play. Francis, big hole. Nice cut by Francis back to the outside into the New Orleans 38-yard line. That is a pickup of 13, Francis's largest run of the night.
Yeah, Cam, that was a big hole. I mean, I think you probably could have got 8 yards or 9 yards off that run.
Even with being sick.
Yep.
Probably could have strolled right through there.
Had an IV bag attached and still made a first down.
Don't make me laugh. It hurts. 6 sacks for Tallahassee tonight on that Pharaohs offense. The handoff to Jack. And that's only a gain of 1. And I got to be honest with you, when you tally up all the yards, it might even be less than 96 tonight for New Orleans, given all the passing yards lost because of the sacks.
Yeah, but from a Tallahassee standpoint, you got to keep feeding the rock to Francis because it eats up the clock, and also it's going to open up maybe some passes down the field for Christensen.
Christensen dumps it off short. That's Wall, 8-yard gain. And right on the outskirts of... Oh, Wall. Did you see that? Wall it looked like he got punched in the face.
Yeah, doesn't look like he's too happy about that. But look at the amount of time that Christensen had in that pocket. There wasn't anyone within, breathing distance from him. He was able to go through his entire progression.
Third down, right on the outskirts of field goal range. And Christensen's got nobody open, and that pass is nearly intercepted. And here we go again. They really send out Richard Douglas for a 48-yarder?
Well, let's see. This I've never been more excited about a field goal in my entire life. Let's see if he can nail it down the middle.
I'm surprised they just don't go for this. I mean, what do you got to lose? I mean,
19-0 makes it pretty tough.
Well,
but
that's a great point. No matter how many times you need to try it, you might as well keep trying to make it a 3-score game. This is from 47 yards away. Douglas has hit the pole twice in a row. Good snap, good hold. Douglas's kick is good from 47. And
Pick
finally,
the man up and carry him off the field. There you go. I'd be jumping too if I made that.
finally, look at this. Right smack down the middle. And that brings us to a break. 19-0. New Orleans needs some offense, and they need it quick. We're back to Louisiana after a word. You're watching the SFL, presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. Brought to you in part by Nation's Best, helping high school, college, and professional athletes all around the country help hashtag secure the bag. By ScoreStream, official live scoring app of the SFL. By Sector 6, official merchandise partner of the Simulation Football League. And by SpyGoat, the sound choice. Aerial shots provided to you by AirViews. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage, AIRVUZ. As we start the fourth quarter. Harrington returns it up to the 30. Chat shout-outs right now. C. Pundy, Jack Wall, Stephen at Large, Hop 4AP, The Law 15AZ, Little Man Michael, Ocho Tona 11, Xander Gold, Kumbaya 24, and more in the chat with us tonight. And if you'd like to get on the field, your next opportunity is Wednesday. There have been plenty of signings as of late. Sir Chappelle knocks that one away. And that brings us to a shocking stat tonight, Charles. 4 receptions by New Orleans receivers. Wolf, Powell, Clifton, and John Jameson. 0 in the second half.
You got to get the receivers involved here, and 4 receptions for the receiving corps is definitely, gives us an idea of why it's 19-0.
Gold's pass caught by Clifton. He heard you. First down to New Orleans at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, it's the second reception of the game, and I think that anytime you can get the tight end involved in your offense and it opens up so many things for your other receivers and your halfback out of the backfield.
Well, Mexico City is won today. It looks like Tallahassee is going to win. Chicago picked up a victory, mini upset with Atlanta topping London at home, although with Atlanta being at home, not sure you can call it an upset. That is ruled a fumble, and it goes out of bounds for a 3-yard loss. But my question to you, Charles, is that we haven't seen many upsets today. Could it be happening tonight? Carolina hosting Denver, but 6-1 versus 1-6. What say you?
Well, anything can happen in the SFL. That's why it's such an exciting league. But Carolina's going to need to be perfect in order to beat that Denver squad. I mean, they're a tough squad to beat.
Talk about a relentless defense. Hey, that pass is caught to the Tallahassee 38-yard line. That's Deezer Powell, his first catch of the second half, and all of a sudden, New Orleans is starting to find an offensive rhythm, but only 8 minutes left in the ball game.
Yeah, you definitely need to get Deezer Powell involved. He's he's a superstar, and credit to the Tallahassee defense for keeping in check for 3 quarters.
This has been a very fast game. Only 8 incompletions on the Tallahassee side. They have controlled the clock all night long. 3 receivers for Gold, flip out to Jack, and he's swallowed up. I mean, you can't expect Logan Jack to handle 2 different Tallahassee Pride players as R.J. Manley makes the stop.
Yeah, R.J. Manley looks like maybe, it didn't have a lot of blocking down the field there to set it up. He was basically on his own and wasn't able to get past that swarming defense.
Visit simulationfl.net, join our Discord server, and start checking in this Wednesday, or this Tuesday rather, as Powell makes another catch. Check-ins, by the way, help bank value for your player's first contract, which you can sign in the offseason, whether it be through the draft or with the team you sign with this current season. Chappelle makes that tackle. But for those that joined even 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, they already have a tremendous amount of value banked. And by the time we get to next season, you're going to have one heck of a player out there as Jack makes the catch for a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, the good thing about New Orleans offense is the offensive line is starting to settle in there and give a pocket there for Xander Gold to make some completions and give him the time to throw it to the likes of Powell.
Yeah, Gold and the Pharaohs have to hurry here. They're down 3 scores. Certainly need a touchdown. Well, I mean, I guess technically they wouldn't have to get a touchdown on this drive, but they'd like one. Logan Jack near a first down.
Wow.
And it's nice to get him going. It's only his 7th carry of the night, but the Pharaohs need a sense of urgency here. You almost get the feeling that they're just trying to put together a drive. That's all they care about right now.
Yeah, well, they need to put together a drive, and so far, so good on this. They've been hitting on all cylinders, and looks like they're challenging.
Yeah, this is shocking that they would even attempt to spend a timeout here. But they're looking for the spot of the ball. This is the difference between 3rd and inches and a first down. And it looks like the ball is way over the line.
Yeah, I don't know what what they saw.
Well, okay, I saw it on that second angle. Yeah, that knee being down before the ball crossed, but Arrington's going to win the challenge anyway. That was a lot closer than it looked at first. But New Orleans going to get the first down, and Arrington wins the challenge as the Pharaohs try to avoid the shutout.
Yeah, like you said before, they definitely need to get it in I think they need to get in the end zone on this series.
2 backs, 2 receivers for Gold. And Gold going to throw. Gold near side. Oh, that was pick 6 written all over it.
Wow.
Michael Sprouse. I think he saw the end zone before he saw the football and got out ahead of himself.
Yeah, he was thinking about the touchdown. He was thinking about the post-game interview and all the other accolades, but wasn't able to hold on to that ball.
5:55 left in the 4th. New Orleans has struggled mightily offensively tonight. Their defense has given up a ton of yards, but not a ton of points. Kudos to them for that. as Gold will fire it out to Jack. He is all alone. There is nobody out there, and New Orleans scores a touchdown. Nice play by the Pharaohs, and New Orleans is not done yet.
I was gonna. They had that right before the snap. They had that shot on the sideline of Powell on standing on the on the sideline. I had to do a double take there. I was like, why is he off the field? But color me wrong on this one. It was a great play by New Orleans, and they're on the board now.
Yeah, that was a great play call. They tightened up the defense, made him thinking, well, this is for sure going to be a run. And Jack had all day on the outside. That is the most open any New Orleans offensive player has been all night long. The extra point is good, and don't go anywhere. The Pharaohs need a defensive stop, and they're right back in this thing. 5:50 to go in the fourth quarter. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. .550 left in the fourth quarter. Alongside Cameron Irvine, I'm Charles Doherty. Did I just say that, Charles?
Yes, you did.
Wow. Man,
Charles, I want to say you're doing a great job tonight.
Somebody get me some cold medicine right now. Hunter Jones, somebody get me a Tallahassee victory, because Hunter Jones just took that Pharaohs touchdown and threw it right back in their face. An absolute dagger. Cam, what'd you think about that play?
Well, not much to say after that. I know it was a great special teams there, and New Orleans was they had a little spark of life, but Tallahassee just took their special teams out on the field and just smacked it down and did what they needed to do, and looks like they've got full control of this game.
That was some serious body snatcher stuff right there that just happened.
Body snatcher, that's awesome.
Wow. I feel for New Orleans. I mean, they finally get the offense moving. They get a touchdown, and Christensen doesn't even come on the field.
Definitely. Right now I feel for Cam Irvine.
Wow. After all, you're just thinking in that commercial break, just one stop. Just one stop is all we need. And Hunter Jones comes up huge with 5:38 to go in the fourth quarter, and we're right back where we started as of a few minutes ago.
Yeah, we talked about earlier. You showed the playoff standings, and this is what playoff teams do. I mean, they keep their foot on the neck of the snake and keep them from biting, and that they purely did that on the special team standpoint.
So, Aaron Arrington, how do you respond? Not with much. Up to the 30-yard line, 5:33 to go. Golly, I can't believe that happened. Still can't believe that happened. It's kind of a shame New Orleans defense didn't get a chance to stand tall there. Zandergold back out there. His numbers look a little bit better now, 16-25 for $142.
Yeah, he's going to need to get his receivers a little bit more involved in this series. He did great the last time with Powell, but needs to do more of it.
Logan Jack picks up 8, and New Orleans really just playing out the stretch. You get the sense here, regardless of that. I mean, once Hunter Jones scored that touchdown, I think they pretty much knew.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to come back after that. I mean, that was definitely a dagger in the heart.
The chat reacting to the touchdown. Xander Gold saying, of course. Yeah, that's how we felt too. Gold's pass is off the hands and dropped down the field. And another storyline that we've got to be following here, as John Jameson was the intended target for the first time tonight. He had a chance at a touchdown. Is that Alex Bond's 10-game streak of an interception is in dangerous of coming to an end.
Yeah, definitely. He's, but I think at the end of the day, I'm sure he'd be comfortable with taking a W instead of an INT.
Powell gets the first down up the 41-yard line. Gold took a huge shot. It's just, it's kind of like when, a legend passes away. It's like, Lee, I just can't believe that Alex Bond is about to not have another interception. It just, it's crazy. Bond, the league leader in picks with 9. He's had 1 in every game, had 2 in one game this year. Thornberry and McFly right behind him with 7. Chappelle was 6. That pass is knocked away, just not enough juice on it. But the fact that Tallahassee and Baltimore possess 4 of the top 5 leaders in interceptions tells you something about their championship aspirations, as the Pride and Baltimore comfortably now in that top 4.
Yeah, Chappelle and Bond are beasts at safety. I think that's the best safety combination in the league. And, like you said, Bond is up there. He's number 1 in interceptions, but he's also number 1 as far as pass deflections as well. But I think he'll take a win over any interception today.
Gold got rocked. Jack nearly caught the pass that went sailing up just slightly as Kevin Bain applied the pressure. 4:49 left, back to 3rd and 10. The Pharaohs 2 for 8 on 3rd down tonight.
Yeah, definitely not what they wanted at the top of the game, and hats off to the Tallahassee defense. They're putting pressure on the quarterback and keeping him out of the end zone.
Still with those 6 sacks, 7 passes deflected as well tonight. Gold, deep shot near side. It's caught. They said Powell dragged a foot at the 34-yard line. Let's see how much of a Grinch Frank is, Coach Gooden. We'll see if he challenges.
Yeah, that looked like it might have been like the big toe and the second toe.
Not much boy. He definitely, I think, got at least one. Wow, nice catch. All the way to the Tallahassee 34 by Deezer Powell. Best play of the night for the Pharaohs offense. That was
definitely the best play, like you said.
That was nicely done. Gold now quickly fires it outside. That was picked off. No way. That is the slot man, Will Parker. How in the world does Will Parker make this play?
Yeah, that's it did look like it was a catchable ball from a defensive standpoint, but he got some air up there, was able to bring the ball in and basically shut down New Orleans' hopes of getting it in the end zone.
Christensen says Alex will definitely not be okay with just a win. So there you have it. It's right from Christensen's mouth. Probably talked to Alex on the sideline. Alex right now is probably cursing out Will Parker, because if Will Parker doesn't make the interception, it gives Bond a chance. Yeah, no more. Just a 1-yard gain there. McDaniel on the tackle.
There's still 4 minutes left. A lot can happen.
Christensen is under center. They've been in this 2-receiver set, 2-back set a lot tonight with the 2 receivers on the one side of Christensen. 4-down lineman for the Pharaohs. They got 8 in the box. Hand off to Francis, and he's bottled up. Only a gain of 1 as both teams play out the stretch here. Tomorrow night, Las Vegas hosts Sioux Falls. That is a rivalry game for Las Vegas. I'm not so sure about Sioux Falls, but the Fury have had their season ended the last 2 seasons by the Sparrows in the playoffs. Then the fan night game of the week, Tulsa hosts Charleston. You think that game doesn't matter? Boy, those 2 teams in need of a victory to keep pace in the wild card race. That's going to be a fun one with Mike Daggs and Matt Wilson. That is tomorrow night, doubleheader on the 11 Sports Network starting at 7 Eastern. 3:23 to go in the 4th. Handoff Francis on a 3rd and 8. He's caught from behind. And that wild card race led currently by Chicago at 6-2. But there you see Tulsa in 12th. Just a few shavings off of London's record right now, and Charleston right underneath the Desperados.
It looked like the last game we did, Cam, Tulsa was starting to gel from an offensive standpoint, and Jackson had a really, really great game, and doesn't bode well for the rest of the league.
Yeah, the Desperados are a real dark horse here in the last quarter of this season, as the Pride finally punted away after bleeding some clock. Arrington return up to the 32-yard line, and hey, shout out to the 57 people watching on our Twitch channel right now. The Twitch channel specifically, twitch.tv/11sportsnext. That's how you can get involved with the chat live on your screen. And I say that because there was another three-letter league that got going today, and the fact that we still have all of you with us watching Tallahassee and New Orleans Week 9 action, I think really speaks volumes to the tremendous hardcore and passionate community that we have, as Powell couldn't come up with that one trying to tote the sideline. But great activity in the chat. Hunter Jones is in there after just returning the kickoff back for a touchdown, enjoying some chatter with his fellow teammates and SFL family.
Yeah, New Orleans, they haven't given up yet, trying to get in the end zone there. That was a good pass to Powell there. Didn't maybe a step behind, and keeping him inbounds. Let's see what they can do on this play.
Gold almost looks a little exhausted. That's his 32nd attempt. Way under through that one, as that was broken up by R.J. Manley. But that's the 8th deflected pass tonight for Tallahassee. They've had active hands.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're trying to get the ball to Jamison or Wolf or even Clifton at all. The last couple throws have been to Powell. You can't really argue that because Powell's so so solid as a receiver, but you got to spread it around a little bit.
Gold, more time on that throw than he's had all night, and that's caught at the 45-yard line for a first down. And I got to give the Pharaohs receivers credit tonight. They've been very good on the sideline. That was Wolf with that last catch. Only his second on 8 targets.
Yeah, only a second, and a great pass there by, by Xander Gold. It was right over number 22, and was able to get it in. Great pass on the sideline.
2:22 left. Got to respect the Pharaohs' heart tonight. They have not given up. Even after the Jones touchdown, they moved the ball into Tallahassee territory before a pick, and they're nearly back in Pride territory again. That pass intended for Wolf. I think it might have gotten poked out from behind him as Wolf chats with a Pride defender.
Yeah, it looks like maybe there was a hand in there. He was wide open, and the pass was where it needed to be, but I think the defender was able to break that pass up.
The chat now chanting for Alex Bond. Xander Gold saying just keep it away from him. Bond is at the top of your screen, that safety spot. Serge Chappelle at the bottom. Gold changing the play. Gold's going to the top, and that pass is out of bounds. Led Wolf too far out. Disappointing. He was all alone.
Yeah, he was all alone. He was, I guess the ball was maybe a second behind where it needed to be, but they got another shot here, and hopefully they can. It looks like the good news is they're spreading it around. Not so many passes to Powell. They're making it, a little bit, trying to guess who the ball's going to on this series.
3rd down and 10 from the 45, and Gold playing 4-down territory now as Powell picks up 5 yards. So it's going to bring up 4th down. And if New Orleans has any shot at a miracle, they need to convert here.
Yeah, this is a tough 4th and 5. Tallahassee is playing very well, and their front line is. It looked like they're going to maybe bring some heat on this one.
One backer back there, that's Jack, but only 5 linemen. Tallahassee rushes 4. Gold hit as he threw, and that is a turnover on downs. And coming in to make that play was Will Parker, and I'm sure Alex Bond's upset again. Stop taking my opportunities. And actually marker way down the field and actually dragged Jamison to the ground. And no flag. 2:07 left. Handoff, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. You're watching the SFL on 11 Sports. We'll be back after this short break. Playing out the stretch, 26-7. Tallahassee taking care of business on the road, although the Pharaohs did not make it easy. Neither did Richard Douglas, the Tallahassee field goal kicker, who hit the upright twice. As another handoff goes up the middle. That is Allen Urban, the backup. Irvine on the tackle, and now New Orleans will start exhausting timeouts. And this fourth quarter is taking quite a bit, as the Pharaohs just don't want to give this up.
Yeah, they're in control right now. Maybe make a first down and run this out, keep control of the game.
3rd and 8. Urban got the first down. Wow, how about that from the backup?
Yeah, good blocking up front, and get that first down. I think just about does it.
I didn't see a timeout taken, but I can only assume that the Pharaohs burned their second timeout, and that should be enough for the Pride to take a knee, with their offense still out there. Curtis Young, the backup quarterback, is now in for Christian Christensen, as that goes for just a 1-yard carry. New Orleans is out of timeouts. Christensen's night is going to end 39 of 47, 312 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Not the best night. 83 QBR. Gossett, 106 yards, 8 receptions. I think the MVP probably goes to Francis, right, Charles? 32 total touchdowns, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he got one on the ground and got one in the air. But back to your point about Christensen, I think if you look at his second half stats, I think his QBR probably well over 100.
Xander Gold going to finish 20 of 38 with a $190, a touchdown, 2 picks. Powell ended up having 105 yards on 7 receptions, but the bigger story, just 2 catches on 10 targets for Matt Wolf, and Yassine Clifton was only targeted twice. Logan Jack with only 8 carries on the night. Tallahassee taking knees. They won't be able to completely run out the clock. I say put Richard Douglas out here, see if he can hit the pole.
There you go. Make it exciting. Let's do this.
That would probably be the crossbar from this from 58 yards out. That'd be his only hope. Well, Tallahassee's going to improve to 7-2. What's their What's their last 3 games look like, Charles? I know they got a bye coming up as well.
They're at Houston. Then they've got home games against Queen City and Mexico City.
That Mexico City game is going to be worth a lot of marbles. That's the last week of the season, is it not?
It is.
Yeah, that's going to be worth a ton. I mean, that could be the difference between playing a wild card team quarterfinal weekend or going on the road playing the quarterfinals.
Yeah, definitely. That was an interesting special teams play there. It looks like the special teams player was trying to touch that and maybe whiffed on it.
It wasn't worse than me calling you my name. And
I'm just trying to make you feel better, Cam.
That goes in the Hall of Shame right there. That's really bad. 1st and 10 at the 6. Gold will fire it outside to Clifton, breaks a tackle, steps out of bounds. I can't wait to see what Eric Vincent and Ashley Jackson have for us in Carolina. I think it's interesting just from this standpoint. I mean, Denver's defense has been so good. I mean, they are on a historic pace to let up the least amount of points in an entire season, and they've given up next to nothing over the last month and a half. Carolina's offense has struggled, but Carolina's had a really nice defensive season. I think that game could be extremely low scoring as Gold's pass is knocked away. By the way, all the backups are in, so Bond has no chance. Sharp with the deflection.
Yeah, back to the Carolina-Denver game. I mean, Carolina, Sully Richardson's going to have a near-perfect game in order to pull that off.
I know that Carolina holds a special spot in my heart for the only reason because of the Prasad injury at the convention, because we did that game. And that was just that was such a moment, like an unbelievable, unforgettable moment that from that point on, it's just like, well, nothing bad can happen to Harish Prasad, right? I mean, right. What worse could happen to him? As a jack is going the wrong way. They're going to give him forward progress, but New Orleans is out of timeouts, and I don't think they're going to get another playoff. And they spiked it, and they ran out of time.
Well,
that's the summary of the night, spiking the ball with no time on the clock. Tallahassee gets the win 26-7. New Orleans just quite frankly ran out of time as they got going in the fourth quarter. That's where they got the bulk of their yards tonight. Time of possession surprisingly only plus 11. It felt like it was going to be much more than that. Tallahassee's offense runs 82 plays, New Orleans 63. McDaniel II finishes with 10 tackles tonight to lead all, and Hunter Norwood's 3 sacks. The defensive line in general was the big difference maker tonight, Charles.
Yeah, 5 sacks for 3 for Norwood, 1 for Hale, 1 for Bain. I mean, they were constantly pressuring the quarterback, and it's hard to win a game when you've got that type of pressure on the quarterback. And also, from a offensive standpoint, Christensen started out a little slow. His numbers weren't that great for the first quarter and most of the second, but each quarter he got better, and he did what he needed to do to give his team the victory. But I think, if I'm going to hand the ball off for MVP of the game, it's going to be the most valuable player of the game. It's going to be Francis, like I said earlier.
Now, they could give it to Jones, 51 yards, and had the kick return touchdown that changed the game. But I agree with you. I think Francis, given the fact that he has not had a ton of great running performances this season, was really strong tonight. And there it is. Francis with 108 total yards, rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown, as Tallahassee gets the win 26-7. For Nathan Blake on stats, who did a wonderful job all night long, as always, Charles Doherty, that's the other guy. I'm Cameron Irvine. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Coming up next, Denver takes on Carolina. That's at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Eric Vincent and Ashley Jackson on the call for all of us at the Simulation Football League. Good night, everybody.
Good night.